Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Ayers, and you are listening to Friday Fundamentals. Well, hey, this is our fourth and final series of our mini-series with our guest, Jay Connor. Jay's helping me deliver this week's Friday Fundamental. But hey, with just a couple short weeks out before Jay's live event, I'd like to invite you to come out and meet me October 10th, 11th, and 12th for a 3-day conference. I'd love to see you. We're going to be out there socializing, networking, and most importantly, learning from Jay, as he's going to deliver so much great content over the course of those 3 days. So if you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, go over to www.jacobayers.com/event for special pricing for that. I'd love to meet you out there. So well, without further ado, Jay, thanks so much for coming on the show today and helping us deliver this Friday Fundamental.
Well, you're welcome, Jacob. I tell you what, you have just been a delight to be with on this series of, 4 sessions. Wow, I've enjoyed it. My lands, we've talked about the foreclosure system. We've talked about funding deals. We've talked about how to sell any home in less than 3 days, 72 hours. And so, yeah, today we're talking about automation.
I love it. We're saving the best for last, in my opinion here. This is all about what I'm about, Jay. I've got this mantra to work on your business and not work in your business. And that's where this really comes into play. So we've been talking a lot about the technical nuts and bolts of how to find deals, how to finance deals, how to sell deals. But when we put all these things together, it can be a job. So, we've got to outsource this, automate it, and you've got some great systems. So let's dive into it. First, talk about the importance of why automating. Why is automation so important?
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you, what really motivated me to automate the business. I've been doing the business, buying and selling houses for 15 years. And after I was in it for a few years, I'll never forget, I came into around the corner into our kitchen at home. And there was my wife, Carol Joy, at the kitchen table with tears coming down her face and 2 different checkbooks with bills stacked up. And long story short, I said, "What in the world is going on, babe?" And she said, "I can't take this anymore." I said, "What do you mean?" And I found out right there in this conversation that, you can be making 7 figures a year, but if you don't have the wealth, you can have the wealth, but if you don't have the freedom, if you don't have the systems in place to where you're running your business instead of your business running you, then it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I made a promise right there and then years ago that I was going to never come around the corner seeing my Carol Joy crying at the kitchen table, right?
Yeah.
And so why automate? Well, I'm telling you, without the systems in place, without automation in place, then you're really never going to be actually in control of your business. It's going to be rolling you. So here's what I discovered. First of all, one reason to automate, of course, it gives you the freedom. Automation gives you the freedom. And isn't that what everybody's wanting, right? We want freedom. We want freedom to do what we want to do. We want freedom. Of course, I'm all about win, 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 win. I want the freedom to be able to serve others when I want to be able to. I want to be free when they need serving, whether that's doing something for somebody else. I want the freedom to, if I want to go on that vacation, I can go on that vacation. So number one, I learned, why automate? First of all, believe it or not, Jacob, some people can do a lot of this stuff better than I can, right?
Definitely so, yes.
When years ago when I started posting, looking for motivated sellers and posting homes for sale on Craigslist, I lasted 1 day. One thing I learned is that you've got to be consistent in your marketing. So, leverage other people's skills. So what did I do? I got a virtual assistant that all she does is post my Craigslist ads every morning at 8 o'clock and every afternoon at 5 p.m. And so leverage other people's skills. And what automation does is it allows us to really focus on doing the things that we love to do. Okay? So, and delegate the other stuff out. I tell you, one thing I learned from my dad, Jacob, was be the 3D guy: dictate, delegate, and disappear, right?
Oh, I'm going to have to write that down.
So focus on the things you love to do, and it's going to give you more free time. Now, I'm going to share a concept here. And of course, as you just mentioned, the upcoming live event. I'm all excited about the live event, Jacob, because you're going to be there. You and I are going to be presenting on stage and et cetera. But one thing that I learned years ago, and I'll dive deeper into this at the live event to really expand on it. But what I discovered years ago, Jacob, is that whatever activity I'm doing in the business, it doesn't matter. Posting an ad on Craigslist, posting a Facebook ad, mailing direct mail pieces in the mail, going to the courthouse, whatever. Get this, all of you listeners, and that is, whenever I'm doing an activity that I can pay, for example, somebody else to do for $8 an hour, while I'm doing that activity, I am earning $8 an hour. Okay? So the question is, what kind of value do you put on your time? All right? So my average profits on our single family houses around here is over $60,000 per house. And this is in a price point of $150 to $250.
Okay.
So if the average profit is $60,000, and let's say I've got a total of 10 hours myself, of my own hour, I like $6,000 an hour better than $8 an hour, right?
6,000 is greater than 8 for sure.
So the whole thing about automation is be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of your time, and whatever it is that you're doing, if you can delegate it out for X number of dollars, then, delegate it out.
I love it, Jay. And I want to grab something there, and it's a little bit of a buzzword here. And that is, you said, why automate? Well, at the end of the day, it's because of freedom. And that's obviously a pretty important factor here on the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast. That's what we're all about, because at the end of the day, you're building your real estate empire, you're building your real estate business to achieve freedom from whatever it is you want, freedom to do what you want. Now, the wealth will come with it, right? But if you've got no time to spend your money and do the things you want, then what's it worth, right? So next, valuing your time. I love it. That's what I always say is, how do you value your time? And that's what I look to when I'm looking at delegating tasks or hiring somebody who can do something. Maybe it's something that I'm not even capable of, or, somebody can do it more efficiently, like web development or search engine optimization or mailing these letters or whatever it is. So I really love those two pieces. But yeah, well, let's dive into, how you've automated the pieces of your business.
Sure. So, I've broken it down to 4 easy steps. And when I teach, new students, they'll say, well, Jay, I'm afraid I'm going to lose control. You know what I actually discovered, Jacob? I actually gain more control by delegating it out, and sometimes they'll say, well, I don't have money to automate. I mentioned that Craigslist ad. I've got an assistant that puts the Craigslist ads out there. It's costing $30 a week. Okay. Our courthouse assistant that gets our foreclosure, that tracks all the foreclosures, is $75 a week. So we're not talking about, huge amounts of money. So 4 steps.
Okay.
4 steps, easy steps to automating. Step number 1, do what you love to do and outsource the rest. I mean, isn't that what freedom's all about, right?
Yeah, simply put.
Do what you want to do, what you love to do in the business, and outsource the rest. I mean, for example, what do I not like to do in the business? Well, I just can't see myself actually picking up a hammer and hitting a nail, right? I mean, that's not my thing. Now, I know where to find people and contractors that can get it done. Somebody told me years ago, they said, oh, Jay, I just love rehabbing my own houses. It's like therapy to me. And I said, well, anybody that rehabs their own houses needs therapy. But anyway, so anyway, choose from the list. So virtual assistants are a very, very important part of our automation. Okay. So choose from the list of what you want to do, all the different activities in the business, and do those and outsource the rest. Step number 2. And of course, Jacob, I'm just giving a real quick overview here. We'll dive deep into this at the upcoming live event. But step number 2 is select your team. Well, you need to know who the important team members are, right? So here it is. To be successful in the business, you must have a relationship with a realtor that knows the area, that can give you the comps and can give you the value of the houses. All right, very, very quickly. That relationship's important. You must have a relationship with your local real estate attorney. Okay. Now, I know some states use title companies, some states use escrow companies. However, when you're using as a real estate investor private money, or you're buying creatively with subject to the existing note, title companies and escrow companies a lot of times aren't going to know what to do with those deals.
Sure.
So you really want that relationship with a local real estate attorney. Virtual assistants. At the live event, I'll plug everybody into the virtual assistants that we use, and they can use as well. If you're going to do rehabbing, you don't have to do rehabbing. But if you're going to do rehabbing, got to have the relationship with the contractors. I'll teach at the live event how to find contractors that you want to do business with and how to keep them accountable. And so those are the main team members that you want. Any comments on that, Jacob, before I share step 3 and 4?
No, I think that's pretty clear cut.
Okay, so step 3 is now, since you've decided what you want to do and what you want to outsource, you've got your team selected. Now we can automate. Now, what does automate mean? Well, the definition of automation is it's either delegating the activity out to technology or to another human being. Okay. So, for example, on technology, I still to this day use 24-hour recorded message hotlines. Okay. So I get in my marketing 3 times the response using 24-hour recorded messages than I do just a regular phone number. And here's why. People know they can bail out at any time, and they don't have to talk to someone, and someone's not going to sell them. But let me tell you some secret sauce.
Okay.
Did you know that when your 24-hour recorded message hotline, and all of them pretty much are driven by 800 numbers, did you know nobody can caller ID block those calls? So they don't know. So what it means is you get 100% of all the phone numbers of when someone calls your recorded message hotline. So even if they don't leave a message, let's say that it's a rent-to-own buyer. So when I started out, I said, you know what? If they don't leave a message and aren't interested enough to leave their name and contact information about my homes, why call them back? Poo-poo on them. Boy, was that stupid. You know what we discovered? We discovered that more people that don't leave a message than people that do leave a message are more qualified to buy because they're not as desperate. So anyway, we use a lot of technology. We use, of course, automate the marketing, automate generating the leads. And of course, at the live event, I'm also going to teach how you can automate getting the private money and the funding for your deals. And then fourthly, step number 4, do deals. You got step 1, 2, and 3 in place. So now as the deals are coming in, seal the qualified deals for buying and selling. Get the paperwork signed on automatic. Listen to this, everybody. I don't even have to go to closings, okay? I have given power of attorney to my real estate attorney to buy a house. I've given power of attorney to my real estate attorney to sell a house. And so all I do is give approval by email as to the closing settlement statements. Today they're called CDs, closing disclosures, right? Right. And so I look at the email, I look at the closing disclosure, whether I'm buying or whether I'm selling, and I say, approved. Please sign on my behalf. Done. I don't even have to go to the closing table. So that's it. Number 1, do what you love. Number 2, select your team. Number 3, automate. Number 4, do deals.
Jay, I love it. And, when you're talking about selecting your team with the realtor, the attorney, the virtual assistants, the general contractor, what you're essentially doing is managing those people who do those things better than you do, or do those things you can't do, right? So an attorney, you obviously can't go out and do the attorney's job, even if you wanted to, without a lot of work of going through law school and, becoming a, licensed attorney, right? So I really like that you've, built this team and you just manage other people or manage processes or manage systems. So when I talk about building systems and building processes are kind of what I define as, somebody doing something for you, and systems are more of like that technology piece, So yeah, I really love combining those two. It gives you the ability to unplug from your business, scale it, grow it, focus on the important things, focus on the things that ultimately you're good at, which are probably the things that you love doing. So yeah, I love that stuff. Now, at your 3-day event coming up, you're going to unpack and get into the real details. You're going to pull back the curtains and give us some details on your virtual assistants and some of these processes and systems you've got in place. So tell us just a little teaser about that.
Sure. So this 3-day event, Jacob, I don't know any other event like it. For one, Jacob Ayers is going to be there.
I love it. Yes.
And we're going to be presenting sessions from the stage as well, and talking about how you do the business, et cetera. So an overview of the 3 days. The first day, first half day is all about private money, getting funding for your deals. How to get funding for your deals regardless of your credit, regardless of your income, and regardless of your experience in real estate investing. The afternoon of the first day is the bus tour. So we're not going to look at houses in the multiple listing service. We're going to look at houses that are my houses, that are either we've just acquired them and haven't started renovation if they need renovation, houses that are under renovation, and homes that we've just finished and just put on the market. And so what's neat about that tour is I'll be teaching how I found the houses, how I got them, how I sealed the deal. I'll be teaching how to estimate repairs quickly going into a house. I'll be teaching, I'll give all the numbers, okay? How much I paid, how much of the repairs, if there are any repairs, what are we selling it for? So what's the profit? And on the bus tour, my important team members for this part of the business will be on the bus tour with us. My contractors, how do I do business with them and keep it automated and keep them accountable? Meet my interior designer, that picks out all, everything that's going into the house. And then on the second day, I'll teach 3 of my 4 pillars on the second day. And that is how to find deals before other real estate investors know they exist, more about funding deals creatively, not only using private money, but subject to the existing note, lease purchase, controlling, etc. And the third one, I'll dive deep again about the selling system. Okay, all the details about that. The afternoon of the second day, I've actually got private lenders at the event for the attendees to network with. We got a really, really nice VIP reception on the evening of the second day. And then the third day is all about automation. So we've just talked now for about 15 minutes on automation. Yes. But the third day is we dive deep. How do you locate all these deals on automatic? And then how are you able to fund them on automatic? How are you able to sell them on automatic to where you truly do have the wealth? And as your podcast is all about, freedom in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, Jay. So, if any of these topics resonate with you, even just the slightest bit, we're going to be unpacking those over the course of 3 days, October 10th, 11th, and 12th at Jay's live event with dozens, hundreds of other real estate investors out there, real estate professionals, lenders, Jay's network. So it's going to be a valuable experience. When I go to conferences, I look at 2 things. You're going to get an education piece of it, and you're going to get a networking piece of it. And I'm really looking forward to diving in and learning and networking with your team, Jay. I'd love if the listeners out there would like to meet with me. It's going to be a great time to do so. You can visit www.jacobayers.com/event for special pricing on those tickets. It's coming up in maybe a little less than 3 weeks now from the time of this recording. So really looking forward to it, Jay. Well, Jay, just give us a little teaser on the location and, the atmosphere of this place. It's not like we're holding this place in the middle of the United States. Let's call it Oklahoma, So.
Oh, that's right. Well, the event is going to be oceanfront at this multi-million-dollar renovated hotel this time of year in October, it's absolutely gorgeous out here. You can take walks on the beaches, at the end of the day, drink your coffee going up and down the beach, on the lunch breaks, you're right there on the ocean. And also, that's October 10th, 11th, and 12th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, stay on over for the weekend and enjoy the area here. What's more than that, the reason I have this event here is I cannot have this event anywhere else in the world, the nation, because we're actually going to our houses, okay, in the real world right here. My actual team you get to meet as to how I work with them. And so that's why we have the event here, but it's an absolutely gorgeous location. I mean, all of your listeners are going to love it once they get here, Jacob.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm really looking forward to that, Jay. Well, that's 3 days, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Grab your tickets before they're sold out. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there. Jay, this has been a fun 4-part mini-series. Thanks so much for coming on over these past few weeks. You've provided a ton of value to the audience, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in just a few weeks. All
right, same here, Jacob. Thank you so much, and I'll see you at the live event.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jay.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.